was definitely 2 fingers wide, and the depth was past my second knuckle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's super deep. And on the 12th, so on Thursday, was the day before we were going to meet, I checked it, and it was just over 1 finger wide, so from over 2 to 1, and definitely no more than 2 knuckles deep. So
it was past 2 knuckles.
Yeah, I stopped pushing because I was like, this is so deep, I don't even want to. And I felt so weird. So it's definitely 2 knuckles deep.
It's 2. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I felt the bottom, I think, anyway.
Good. Okay. That's awesome. That means that when I hear that, I love to hear that because that means that your linear alba tissue is responsive. So that's really good. Some women's is a little bit harder, and some women heal up a lot faster, and some women's are slower, and some it just varies.
Yeah.
So I'm just writing everything down.
Yeah, and then the 3 fingers above, it was 1 finger wide and 1 knuckle deep. And now it's less than 1 finger wide. Like I couldn't get 1 finger in there.
Good.
So I didn't know how deep it was. And then the same with 3 fingers below was the same. 1 finger wide and a fingernail deep, and it's less than 1.
Now. Okay. So is it all 1 fingernail? Hang on, I need to deal with something real quick. Hey, Bree. You can either sit here and watch TV quietly or you go take a nap. If you jump around on the furniture one more time, you're going to bed. Okay. Yes, Mommy? Yes, Mommy. Stay in there. No, you will not jump on the furniture. Sit on the floor. That's what you can do. I can sit on the couch. No, you may not. You may sit on the floor. No, you may not. Go sit on the floor. She's really been testing me when I get on my calls. And so I have to really be like firm with her when I get on my calls. So she's like, oh, Mom's on her call. Let's just do whatever we want to do.
Right.
So,
okay. The 4-year-old thing.
So you are seeing improvement for sure.
Yeah.
Can you tell any difference in the size of your belly when you look at it? Like with
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it's looking overall flatter, for sure.
Okay, awesome. And did you, what was I going to say? How's your bloating? Do you deal with bloat a lot?
I don't think I do.
Okay, you don't think you do. Okay.
I don't think I do. I haven't done the 3-day speed bloat yet, which I need to do. That's on my list to do ASAP.
Okay.
Just to go through it, but I don't really think I do very much. Like I don't know. I guess I never paid very much attention to it. Maybe. I did have one notice when I emailed Dancy because I was like, I ate a homemade chocolate chip cookie. Like I had a little cookie that I made and I ate it, and I felt like my belly was bigger. Like it actually felt bigger because she was like, pay attention like 30 minutes after. You eat something and then you can eat. So I was like, I was feeling so skinny until I had that cookie, but it was like my stomach actually like came out. And so she's like, yeah, it's the sugar, so.
Yeah, let me read this to you real quick because it will.
Can I watch Netflix?
You may not. You may leave it on this. So I'm doing that. Let me see. I was like, that is so true. Where is it? I may have passed it already. It's just talking about when you eat, like, oh, here we go. So somebody said, I knowingly ate some dairy-free cream cheese, and that had different gums in it. xanthan gum, the gur gum, the locust bean, as well as something with the tapioca and the xanthan gum for the 4th of July. And then she had a flat tummy, and then all of a sudden her tummy pooched out like she was pregnant just from that.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So all, you know how, I'm talking about all those ingredients in there.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So that, and do you know, and we'll talk about different kind of gum, but even sugar-free gum can cause bloating for some people.
Interesting. I don't chew gum, but
yeah,
because I'm like, I don't even know what causes it. I don't know. I really haven't paid attention to it ever.
It just depends. Like some women's diastasis will be healed, and some women even who don't have diastasis, they will look like they're pregnant. And it just depends on the woman's bloating. Well, when you take a woman who already deals with severe bloating and you get them with a thin out linea alba tissue, it's really going to pooch out. So that's why it's so important to get the bloating issues down, because I have women who are like, okay, my width is half a finger and my depth is a fingernail and I'm still looking pregnant. And that's when we have to go in and go, this has got to be bloat. You've got to reel this in, or figure out what your bloating triggers are. And I don't like to tell people you always have to stay away from all of this and never eat a cookie or whatever. You're just going to have to know that I may have bloating issues. So some people have that SIBO stuff and they bloat horribly. It's I can't remember what it stands for, but they deal with the bloat. So getting the gut healthy is going to be number one key. Making sure that you know everything's cleansed. You get toxins removed, and then you replenish. So that, like, if you have I heard somebody talk about this the other day with your gut, and you may know all about this gut stuff, but like a pair of Lululemon yoga pants that's just real thick, and the weaves are just really thick, and it's you put like this juice in it or whatever, and you squeeze, and barely any of it just comes out. Well, then if you put them in you put it in pantyhose and you squeeze it, it's all gonna come out. Well, that's what's happening with guts if they're leaky or anything. And even the food that's good for us or nutritional for us, the stuff's seeping through. The nutrients are seeping through. Even with probiotics, when people are taking those to get their guts healthy, well, if you haven't dealt with getting your digestive system cleansed and then some of the toxins removed, it's not gonna you don't get all the nutrients. And so that's why sometimes different steps are important for certain people. Some people, I think it's good for everybody to do, but especially women whose bloat is really bad. And some women, maybe you don't know if it's bloat or not, Yeah,
no, I definitely want to do it and see, because that could definitely be it. Because I feel like as my stomach goes, it starts going out from pretty far, like width-wise. Like it starts kind of like coming up. It's like a layer almost. I don't know. So,
hang on. Bree, go sit on your bed for 10 minutes. I told you to sit on the floor. If I hear you running around, you're not coming back out. If you jump on your bed, you cannot come out. Nope, you don't have the dogs. Okay. Yeah. Sasha, come here. Lay down. Oh, my dogs. Oh, my goodness. Down. And my kids. Yeah, so that's, you stay. As you keep going and you keep healing, that may be something you need to look at. Nancy even talks about how you eat fruit with different things, because the fruit will ferment. It needs to be able to digest first. Maybe you should eat any kind of fruit that will ferment, eat it by itself, because it can ferment and it causes bloating, which is very interesting.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. So I think some of that is in the 3-day D-book that she has.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What else was I going to tell you? Okay. So do you have any questions before we start today, or?
Um, 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 wait, let me see. No, I think I got out. I guess on this, okay, when I'm doing the breathing on the side, doing the breathing exercises laying on my side, I don't think, like, it's weird. It's hard to tell, like, what is, like, just, like, my stomach kind of coming out and what is, like, coning bulging. I don't think it is because it feels like, so weird. I'm laying on my side and it feels like I can engage the bottom ab, like, but the top one I can't feel come in when I'm doing it. Does that make sense? I think it is, but it's like feels like.
Okay.
Like
okay.
More, do you know what I mean?
Wait, is the bottom coming in and the top one not?
Yes, that's
so
what it feels
like. Feel the bottom engage and not the top.
Yes, as much, or if at all. Like I'm like I feel lopsided, like it's.
Okay, on both sides.
When I do it, yeah, it's always the top one, or the bottom one goes in, and the top one is kind of like.
How are you laying down? Just on your side?
Yeah, just on my side with like my head.
Okay, do me a favor real quick. Would you lay down for me on the side, but kind of prop yourself up on your arm like a side plank, but like, I'm going to take my headphones out for a second. So, can you hold yourself up like this?
Like in alignment.
Okay. So, can you hold yourself up like that without coning or bulging?
I don't know.
Okay, give that a try for me for a second.
Okay.
Now don't lift your hips up, keep your hips down. Just hold yourself up just like that.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Okay, so try breathing in that position to see if it will engage. Really focus on bringing those ribs in and down first before you breathe, because it'll engage those ribs. And then I want you to try to do breathing there and see if you can feel it in the upper part and then below.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, the other thing when you're doing breathing homework, sometimes, and do you touch the top of your abs, like up above when you breathe? Okay, that touch will tell your muscles sometimes, hey, let's get this to work. So try to touch up above there and try to do it and see if you can if it will turn on where you're not feeling it, if it'll turn on when your hand's on there touching it.
Yeah, I can definitely feel it more. I mean, and maybe it's too, I don't know, not thinking about this. Maybe like you feel like my skin very well there.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So like I can feel it, I guess, if I put my hand there. I'm feeling it engaged.
Now lay down all the way, like how you were doing it and weren't feeling it, and put your hand there, touch it, and then do it and see if that helps. If not, you might want to do it just kind of up on your elbow some, if you can still feel it. But just keep your hand on it the whole time. Just kind of like this.
Yeah.
You know, you can even tap it a little bit, and that will actually help it to activate sometimes to get turned on.
Yeah, no, I can feel it if I put my hand there.
Okay, so that helped?
Okay. I think personally I can't really feel that part of my stomach at all.
Yeah.
From my C-section, so I just like all the nerves are pretty bad. So I was doing, because I always hold, I don't know, out of habit, I always hold the top of my, like right under my ribs where I'm breathing, so I'm making sure I'm breathing like my diaphragm, so I always hold there. But okay, does that work? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm always holding there and not
And not where your
and
abs
not
are.
like not where my abs are. So
Okay. Well, always make sure when you get in position, you get in that correct alignment first.
mm-hmm.
You know, untuck your booty, get the ribs in and down because that helps engage those upper abs.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to do it laying down, touch it. And then if you still can't feel it, go up on your elbow a little because sometimes that helps activate the side obliques a little bit, which will activate the TVA a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and give that a try and you can hold on to it. So those are some little tricks that you can do on your side.
Mm-hmm. And for your ribs, like, I mean, my ribs, I mean, I guess everybody's ribs, like, they come out. I mean, they have like a bump, right? At so, right, that kind of sticks out. But I feel like when you always do it on your videos, you always are like this, and you're like ribs in and down, and you're pushing. I feel like my ribs are really far apart from each other.
Have you done it against a door yet?
What do you mean? Like when you're standing with your head and your back and your ribs and your butt and everything like touching? Yeah.
How does that? Can you feel the back of like your bra strap touch the wall when you do that? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just feels like my rib cage is like far apart, but I don't know if that's so not necessarily like sticking out, but like really far apart. So when I feel like when I'm pushing like in and down, I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking it should be coming together, but your ribs don't come together, so I don't know.
No, they won't come together. It's just remember you're putting it over your pelvic floor and you're getting it in neutral position. Okay, so here is a good, I don't know if you've seen me do this before, but hang on, let me show you. So here's your pelvic floor.
Okay.
Here's your diaphragm, or here's your ribs. So this would be bell rung out. So that's just standing with your ribs out. If you're slumped, if they're kind of like this, they're kind of, it's just not good. Your diaphragm can't get down. So if you're here, you're just bringing them over your pelvic floor. So, oops, sorry. You're bringing, you're just bringing them over your pelvic floor. So sometimes some people really love this visual for them. And I just feel it. So you can try, I know you've seen me do this, but like some women really like to find their pelvic bones and then they like to just push them in. The trick is to not move that pelvis. So you want to.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah. So you want to get them in and down. And this is really, like, I have a client, and she's in my program, not the one-on-ones, but she's actually in Amarillo. And she did it, I don't know, year or 2 years ago. And she messaged me and she said, Olivia, I need to work with you one-on-one, not with your pelvic floor physical therapist, just with you. I want to see you. I want your hands on me. I said, okay, that's what you want. So I was actually watching her and she wasn't getting her ribs in and down. And I could tell it was like she looked funny. I said, here, and I just adjusted a little bit. And she was like, that's what it's supposed to feel like? And I said, yes, right there. And she was like, oh my gosh. And so she's gone through that whole, my back is sore now. And so she was standing more like she was thinking they were down, but she was just, it was still kind of sticking out because I could see like this curve. I said, are you sway backed? So she really was, I don't know what she was thinking. So I guess she was just working more on the butt being untucked so much and then not bringing those ribs in and down. So then to me, it's just my ribs are straight over my pelvic floor. Just here and here. And, just in neutral.
Makes me feel like I'm like super slouched over.
Yes, and you don't want to be slumped. So be careful that you aren't hunching.
Right.
Do I look like I'm hunching when I do it?
No, and that's why I'm like, it feels like I'm hunching.
Yeah, and you know what? That's exactly what I felt when I thought, God, am I looking like this hunched over? So I would hunch and be like, oh, okay, but that's not hunch. It's just bringing those ribs in. We're not hunching the shoulders. Shoulders are remaining, the same. And I always tell people, if you're sore, you're probably doing it right. Because I got sick with just a cold. And when you're sick, you just don't feel good. And I was not doing my alignment as well. I was just out of it. I was on the couch and, just coughing and yakking and I really just didn't pay attention to any of it. And it's just amazing because we have done this for so many years out of the correct alignment that when something happens, like you're sick, your body just wants to go back into that. Because I haven't done it enough, even though I've been doing this for years, my body still remembers all that other stuff, all that muscle memory. And after about a week and a half trying to go back, I was like, man, I'm not doing good. And just trying to get my ribs down and correct and untucked. And my back was sore for, probably 4 days. And I was like, oh, I'm not doing that again. That's why it's good to use your tools, which is, sitting on a bolster or a pillow that helps untuck you or anything that helps keep you in correct alignment, but it may be something that's supporting you in it. So that's what I try to do now. If you can remember that.
Yeah, it's definitely, I realize just always thinking about it. I'm like, I feel like I'm going to be thinking about this for a long, long, long. Or just, if I reach something, I'm reaching a tall thing out of the cabinet or something. And I'm like, down, 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 down.
Yes, I know. And that's so good that you're thinking that. And I don't think about it as much. I really don't think about it as much probably that all my clients do. Because it does come naturally a lot to me. But like I said, what my body reverted back to when I was sick, I was like, oh, but to me, it's so much better learning this and having to learn new things and everything than going back to leakage and horrible back pain. And yes, this is not easy either.
Right.
It's helped me so much. Yeah. And it helps everybody. So what's the alternative?
Right, exactly.
That's what I have to always remember. So I try to make things look appealing to me on the floor to sit on. If I have a little table in front of me so that I'll sit with Bree's little tray, or I have my foam roller, I have a Bosu ball, or I have something so I can just, it's going to untuck me, kind of put me more in a squat position. And then I just kind of shift my legs around. So anything that makes me, okay, I can sit on the floor and not the couch. Because it's so easy to go on the couch. Because it's right there. And floor sitting is so much better for our pelvic floors. It's just so much better.
Well, it's interesting. I have a friend here who took a Polish class with me, or language class, and she is Indian. She invited me over to her house, and there's no furniture in her house. like her living room was literally a mat on the floor. And, she invited me over for lunch. And so she made like beautiful Indian food, and we sat on the floor and ate. And so I was very determined to be authentic. So I was like, she's like, oh, I think I have a fork. Do you want a fork? Because they eat with their hands out of a plate, And so I was like, no. However you eat it is how I'll eat. You just
so cool.
I was like, you just have to teach me how to do it, So she's like, okay, so you take the rice and you kind of use it to like scoop up the, other stuff and whatever. But you should have seen her. She was like, she was sitting on the floor, cross-legged. But they don't, like, in Asian cultures, they'll pick up the bowl and then like feed people like this. In India, they don't. The plate was on the floor, bent over the plate, like with her body.
Was she hunched?
No, she was like totally bent, like so flexible. Like I just could not do whatever she was doing. I mean, she's the same age as I am, but like her flexibility and ability to sit on the floor. Like at some point I was like, I gotta get up. Like I had to stand up because I couldn't sit throughout the 1 hour, 1.5 hour meal. Like how we're sitting, I kept like changing my legs and I was just like, oh my gosh, I could just tell her body was so much healthier in its like mobility, flexibility, strength, balance, everything. It was like, and she's like, oh yeah, she's like, this is actually a really good, eating for us is really good for your lower back because it stretches, your lower back forward, but it doesn't put strain. She's like, it's just like 3 times a day you're doing this like stretch for your lower back. I was just comparing myself, like my body to hers. I was watching her, so I'm like, this is so interesting.
That's okay. Wow. Yeah.
I can't have markers.
Just those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Yeah, and see, if we pretend, I think that's what I should do in the Facebook group is say, okay, we're going to have a challenge where we pretend we have no furniture. And see, part of me seriously has wanted to do that because I've seen people.
It's okay for lots of people, right?
That have great for furniture free what they do, and sometimes I'm like, that would be so much more of a simpler life. I just want to do this, and how they've done it, it's really pretty. Like it's not even ugly. They've decorated it and everything real pretty. But that I have to pretend in my brain that I don't have furniture sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so what would I do? And so I think that would probably be a fun little challenge to do in the Facebook group, huh?
It would be fun. Yeah, because it was beautiful. She had this beautiful rug that I was like, I want to sit on it.
Yes.
And like this beautiful big like kind of cushion things that go around like the one wall of the room that you could pull up. But I was thinking, she never used it, and I didn't use it, but I was thinking now, I'm like, oh, you could totally use that as like a bolster and just, kind of stick it under the back of your butt, and you can keep sitting on the floor then, right?
Yes.
But, yeah, so it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's great. I bet her pelvic floor's pretty good.
Yeah.
I bet it is pretty good. So it's fun. It's really interesting seeing all those. I did tell you about my midwife. Did I tell you about her that she was missionary over in another country, and when she came back, she was telling me, she was asking me, she said, Olivia, when I was over there, all the women squatted. I had to get used to squatting and everything. And none of them needed the episiotomies. Like she said, I think one did out of, they have their babies. And she said, so when I come here, like that area, you can just feel is tight on them. She said, and so, they're having episiotomies. We try to massage things. We try to get them out. She goes, how much is that of them squatting? And I was like, it's everything. I said, because they're lengthening their pelvic floors. They're not shortening them. So when we sit, like I'm sitting, the most I sit is on my calls. So I've been working on that too. Cause I'm a mover. Like I'm up, down, I've always been like that. I do work on the floor. I do work on here. I do here. And I just move around my house. So sitting still for me, I just am not a sit still person. And because I just move around, but sitting, just like this angled, that we're just shortening them, and it's just not that's how everybody sits in cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to somebody's video the other day, and she was saying people in other cultures, sometimes they'll want to get a chair for somebody to just, some of these women who want to make their guests feel, just beautiful, and they don't have to sit on the floor and stuff. And I'm thinking, but it's good to sit on the floor. But I have too many kids that would probably look at me like, what are you doing?
You've lost it.
Without the furniture. If it was me, Dusty, and Bree, and she grew up like that, that would be one thing. But when you have older kids and they have wives and boyfriends, fiancés, it's like they come over going, what is this? It's just not going to work for us. So I have to pretend that
You don't have it, yeah.
I don't have any. And it's really hard sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's I notice when I do that the most that I am so much more flexible and I feel so much better after getting it. But you have to use little tools. So anyways, I didn't mean for that to take so long, but I was just trying to say how important all that is.
Well, you mentioned the foam roller. Do you use it to sit on? You sit on it like lengthwise? Like you're riding a horse, like that?
Oh, no, the other way. Sorry, long way.
The other way. Oh, you sit on it. Okay.
Yeah, I sit on it like that, like in front of my couch. So if I'm working, my computer's on my couch and I'm on my foam roller. But then if my booty gets a little tired of being on that foam roller, I can switch to the Bosu ball. You know what that is?
Is that the flat one with the round on top?
Round, yeah. I sit on the Bosu ball. And then I also sit like this to stretch my toes out a lot. I do this one a lot. And it helps strengthen your feet muscles. It's not easy. It's not easy for sure. So I do this one with my toes like this. And I even will do this a lot. Or I sit like this. And if I'm on my foam roller or a Bosu ball or something, so I do this a lot, like this. And you can bring one leg in and another leg in, So I just kind of vary it up as much as I can because movement is so important instead of just sitting in one position. So even if you're just sitting and squatting, you want to move in different positions.
Okay.
So I do that. What else was I going to tell you? Something.
Can you actually, since you, no, go ahead, because I'll remember.
I don't have this anymore. I've lost it. Do you know what a half dome is? A half dome foam roller?
No.
Okay, go ahead, tell me, and then I'll look it up for you.
I was going to ask you, can you show me how you do an Eastern squat?
Yeah. Okay, so I don't have one of these. I used to, but these are wonderful to sit on, these bolsters. They're cushy and everything. They're called bolsters. I need to give links to these. Okay, so these are good. Even these half domes. See how they're half domes? You can sit on those and it'll untuck you.
That's awesome.
I need to get another one of these, but I do not have one right now. But see how you can even practice your balance on them?
Yeah.
And that's real good. That's real good for your hips. Okay. So Eastern squat, and I'm in my jeans. I don't really wear clothes around the house. I wear pajamas all the time. I throw pajama pants on, and I've been out of the house today. So the reason why I don't like jeans is because they're tighter and harder to get into squats for me.
Right.
So there's different ways that I do. It just depends on how I'm feeling for the day. So there are times where I'll even do it just like this. Sit like this, just if I feel like I need to just stretch here in the inner thigh area, and I'll sit here and do this. The thing is a lot of people are like this. So working on getting your back straight is important, and sometimes you can get your back straight better this way. So I just tell people, whatever feels good for you, go ahead and do. Or, you know, if that's really, really hard for people, my goodness, I went to the grocery store and Bree has pulled cilantro leaves off everywhere. So this is another way to just start it.
Okay.
You can do this, and it's not as hard, and then you can start lowering it, making it not as round. This is challenging, but it feels better. So sometimes I'll do that depending on how I'm feeling. If I'm going to be playing with Bree for a while, you know, just coloring blocks, whatever, I'll sit like this. Now, it's have to be careful not to tuck my tail under. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so even for me, I don't have it down perfect, but I'm way better than I used to be. So everybody has little weaknesses in their bodies that they have to work on. And sometimes
I was asking because it was like sometimes I felt like I was like, well, I don't know if I should have my legs as far like out or kind of more straight. You know, kind of like you're just gonna sit down. You know what I mean? Like with your kind of feet more facing forward and you're kind of sitting. But
well, there's two different schools of thoughts for that. There just is, and so what I suggest is if it's too hard to bring your feet in, don't get them all that. Don't do them yet. You know, work your way in. Work your way in.
Is that better?
Yes, in some of the movement world, and no, in some of the physical therapy world.
Okay.
I don't think, I don't know. I do what I feel is good on my body. And I do, since the correct alignment is your feet forward, I try to do that as much as possible. But it is going to be, it may hurt the sides of your leg down below where your calves are. The side, it may really stretch those out. So just work on getting them in a little bit of time. So when I go into a wider, my feet are out more. Just if I'm trying to stretch. But if I do an Eastern squat with my legs together more, my feet are more straight. And going down on a roller like that helps. Here, oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Here's the other thing. Well, I have hair on my floor, and I don't want to put my cushion down. I've got dog hair on my floor.
Oh.
So I need to vacuum. But I will put a cushion down, or like even the Bosu ball. And it puts me in an Eastern squat position if I come to the edge of it. And so I'm still getting the benefit of a squat position. Does that make sense? Or on my foam roller.
You're still in a squat, but kind of sitting on it?
Yes. So my knees are up and I'm still kind of in that squat position. So anytime you can do stuff like that, it can help. So practice doing the Eastern squats by itself. Practice it supported with the heels with the rolled up. Practice it with a cushion underneath you, foam roller, bolster, anything. And you're still getting the benefit.
Yeah, that's helpful. The alignment of how like you have standing with like turning having your feet on the outside straight.
And it feels like you're like this.
Oh my gosh, but I felt so awesome. Like it felt like it relieved so much pressure on my IT band.
Oh yeah.
And like it was like pulling my knees, but it like actually I felt like straightening them out. You know what I mean? Like like the outside of my knees down by my IT band and the inside of my knees had been hurting and hurting and hurting. But when I started practicing standing like that, they stopped hurting. Like it just, I could feel my hips like coming back in, and my my knees
Awesome.
like, oh my gosh, this feels so much better for me to stand like this.
Good. Yeah. And then anytime you stretch, if you do calf stretches or whatever, just make sure to keep practicing that alignment with your feet. And I feel so pigeon-toed sometimes, or maybe you think you look pigeon-toed when you're walking, but who knew that was the correct alignment, especially like I was a dancer, so my feet were like this, gymnast and a dancer, and so I've really had to work on pulling my feet because I walked with my feet out. That's probably been the hardest for me, and rib flaring. And I guess I did tuck my booty quite a bit, but not as much as some women did. So that wasn't as hard. It was the ribs in and the feet alignment. So what's been the hardest for you? The ribs in and down?
I think the ribs, I think doing both at the same time, like staying untucked and keeping the ribs down, just feels really weird. But I feel like I can keep them down pretty much all the time. It's just weird. It just feels weird. But it's because I think I kind of have a slight way back, so my butt kind of sticks out, but I still tuck it. So, because I was like, maybe I'm the person that you're talking about that kind of has their butt out and needs to bring it in. But no, because when I'm paying attention, or like when I am become aware of like how am I standing, and then I relax, I like untuck it.
Yeah.
So I can tell.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you can feel it. We were at the library today with the firemen had come and they were doing snow cones and all this. And I was watching, and I was holding Bree, but I was watching all of these women hold their kids. I just do. And, it's like, it's just like this. And so, it really makes me just focus on, I just hold her like this to keep my ribs in. And when I first started that, I thought, there is no way I can do this. It's too hard. And now I'm so strong when I do it. Like, my hips, it even helps your core out, everything. So how are you with holding kids? Do you try to practice that?
Oh yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. If I feel like I can't hold them and do it, then I don't hold them.
Okay.
Because I'm not strong enough to hold you. So they know. Like, it's funny. You're called the exercise lady who's helping Mama's tummy. That's what your title is in our house. So I forgot to tell you. So I started doing exercises, like doing all my exercises with them.
Oh, yay! And how'd that go?
Yeah, it's been, some days are better than others.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But it was funny. The first time I tried it, they were so all about it. So I was like, who is this? And then every time, it's funny because every time they hear Bree in the background of the videos, they're like, oh, that's her little girl. She's 4 and I'm 4. And then they're like, so it's so funny. I'm like, oh, is that Bree? Is that Bree in the back? It's
Oh, that's so sweet. I know but she'll be getting older as my videos. She's just going to be younger. But I love the fact that a lot of the moms have said, oh, I'm so glad your daughter's in it because my kids love to come in and, see her. And then I've had some people say, she's kind of distracting. And I said, then you're probably not my target market. Because it's just not who I am. And I'm not going to be a polished, perfect in a studio person. If I know I can help somebody, I'm just going to film and that's it. I'm a stay-home mom and I just don't make things difficult for myself.
Right, exactly.
And so, this is just how I do it. So I'm so glad that they love it. That makes me happy.
Yeah, so they love it, and so so I mean, sometimes it's totally crazy with the 3 of them, who are like, but it's been good. I thought they would more fight over like the ball or the weight, whatever I have, but they always defer to me when I need it. They're using it when I'm not, for the rounds and stuff. So it's been really good.
Awesome. Yeah. And you can say,
Yeah.
you get this time, and you get this time, and then you get to swap, and then that's, you start off with this, and, it'll be fun. I have Bree and my 2 dogs. And so sometimes, and my kitchen's not that big. So my dog was like pawing me the other day, my German's paw that's so big. I'm like, go away. Go. I really need to film this just so people can see this is real life and what is happening in my house at the time. And then Bree is trying to get underneath me when I'm doing push-ups or, something. And that's just what it's like for us moms. And so that's why I think, but they're learning. We have to think in our mind, we're leading by example. They're learning. And I'll show Bree little fun workouts on YouTube or something for kids. And I'll say, do you want to work out with these kids? And we'll do a little kid workout or something sometimes just to vary it up for her. And and she loves that too. So, hey Bree, can you get mommy some water right here? I'm so thirsty. It's right here. I've kind of been out of pocket today, and so I haven't been drinking my water like I usually do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, they're like all, perfect squatters and everything, so.
Oh, yeah. And Bree is a leg crosser. I'm like, uncross those legs. Uncross. My husband's a leg crosser. I cannot convert my husband to anything, really. And so.
Yeah, how does this alignment translate to men?
Same.
Same? Like ribs over your pelvis and.
Same. Yeah, it should be. And so, his knee has been hurting him, and I've said, do you want to do some alignment stuff with me? I mean, you could try. We could do some stretches. And he's like, yeah, but it's just finding the time to do it or him actually doing it. So I told him when he gets home, he's out of town right now. I said, when you get home, if you want to, we'll try to work on some of this. And he's like, I just need to lose some weight. Maybe I'll be better. I said, yes, but then you need to do some of this too. He's like, well, I think some stuff is torn. And I said, well, okay, you don't even know. He's like, I probably need to have surgery. I'm like, well, you don't know. So I said, are you willing to try this? He's like, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
I know. I can't.
Yeah, one of my little boys, he sits with his legs out. Like knees out and feet out.
Yeah. So is it like a W?
He's been doing that since he was a baby.
Look up. Katie Bowman has an article about it. Look up Katie Bowman W sit for kids or V sit and read her article on it because it's really it was really pretty good because Bree did that and I was worried about her, and after I read Katie's stuff I thought, well, I just like how she breaks stuff down.
Okay. Yeah, I'll read it because I was always told like that's the worst thing. They can sit, they have to sit cross-legged, So I'm like every time I like 100 times a day, I'm like, oh, please sit properly, can you cross your legs?
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, I don't know. That's what I was like, I should ask you. Like, what do you think about this?
Well, and I'm not saying that Katie wasn't. It's been a long time since I read that article. Bree doesn't do it anymore. But,
I'll read it. I'll read it. That's
good. Just go look at it and see. I think I can't remember what that sitting position's called, but yeah. So have you done any, what else were we talking about last week that you hadn't done that you were going to try to do?
Well, we talked about, mostly it's like trying not to do everything in the evening.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? Like trying to do like the exercising earlier in the day with the weights and doing praying during the day with the boys and not trying to leave, the housework and everything for the evening. So I've been doing that, and that's been so much less stressful.
Good.
Of just trying to like pack everything in. So yeah, I think that's really good.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, I thought today I could share something with you that I've been doing this week.
Mm-hmm.
You
Great.
want me to tell you?
I'd love to hear it.
Okay. So I always have to get out my journal thing. Okay, so I think a lot of times as moms sit around with all these thoughts in our heads of I should be doing this and I should be doing that and I really should be doing this and I really should be doing that. Now I don't know. I mean, do you do that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what I did is I wrote out all the shoulds that have been in my head because they just eat at me, and I don't even realize that they're there, even though I've got these things that I speak and have declarations, but I always think in my head, I should be doing this and I should be doing that. So I wrote out all the things that I thought I should be doing. Like, even if it was being a better friend, because sometimes I think that's probably one of the areas that I lack in because I'm home a lot. And I used to be around friends and people a whole lot more. And so I just wrote down what I should be doing and stuff, even if just even more consistency in my business because I can be scattered and all over the place. And I should be doing this or I should be keeping my house cleaner. I should be more organized, should stick to a better schedule. And so, just like I said, all these things that just kind of, I feel like I'm not doing right. And that can sometimes make me feel like, what's wrong with you? You've got to get your act together. And I'm pretty good about recognizing those thoughts and saying no, but I decided I'm just going to write these down. And so I did. And then, I just wrote down even like with areas with my husband, like we should be going on doing things more for date nights or, just for us time. And then I just it's this whole vision thing again, I know, but I just visualized the type of mom and wife and friend that I want to be. So instead of sitting there feeling guilty and thinking, okay, all these things I'm going to put into action, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Instead of, I didn't do that. Instead, I created a vision out of each should of what I want to look like. So I kind of said, I'm a mom full of boundless energy and enjoy doing things with Bree and all my children. I smile at my children and I speak loving, kind words to them because I think sometimes we can forget to smile, or I can. And even though I'm a smiley person, but especially if they're arguing or fighting or whatever. And so since I've been doing this and I've been reading over this, I even wake up in the morning and thinking, what is the mom I want to look like? I want to smile at my children. And I have found myself smiling at Bree. Like, I didn't write down smile more at Bree. I didn't do that. I visualized who I wanted to be and what kind of mom I wanted to be. So I said, I am this, and this is what I do. And so it's helped me to smile more. This little girl's been smiling more. Like, she smiles all the time, but it diffuses it. And I speak kind words because sometimes we can be like, don't do that and stop doing that, blah, blah, blah. And so I've, just using, I don't know, just different words that come to my mind. No, this is who I am. And I've just started doing it. And it's really helped me out a lot. I am joyful, optimistic, and happy, because life can just, sometimes with everything, because we can get stressed. And I'm organized with meal planning, grocery shopping, meal prepping, because that can be a weakness of mine where if I don't have enough time. And so your brain literally doesn't know the difference if you're doing it or if you're not doing it, if you visualize it, which I don't understand that. It's crazy, but it is true. I've looked at the scientific research, and our brains just don't know the difference. So I'm telling my brain this is what I am. I'm hooking emotion to it, and an action verb to it, and it has helped take a lot of guilt off me of the shoulds. Do you live with mommy guilt like that, of the shoulds?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And so visualize the future and then begin making adjustments in your life to fit that vision. There was something else that I put here that I wanted to share. Let me see. The clearer you can make your vision, the easier it will be for you to make it a reality. So even if you can experience and visualize it with your senses, so hear how she breathes, like if you want to be in shape, hear how she breathes while she exercises, see the muscular definition in her body, taste the healthy whole foods that she chooses to eat, feel how the clothes fit her, see it with such clarity and conviction that you make it your new reality. So your mind truly cannot tell the difference between what you clearly imagine and what you actually do. You activate the exact same neural process when you see yourself shooting a basketball through a hoop in your imagination and when you actually do it with your body. So we imagine what we imagine we become. So, it's instead of making it, so every day take a moment and focus on the clear and tangible vision of the woman you are becoming. Take a moment and focus on becoming her. Walk like her, talk like her, speak to the children like her, love your husband like her. She's the new you. So instead of making a to-do list, I like making visions now. And it really completely helps me to get to that point of doing all those things. And it doesn't stress me out. Like I'm renewing my mind to this. I'm thinking on these things, and it's helping me to become that. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing this week.
That's awesome. So you do that every morning, or like every day?
Yeah, I still have, I have my list of 5 things, our 5 goals. Remember our 5 goals? And I say those once to twice a day. But I just add these in. It doesn't take much longer. I just add these in. And then once you say them so much, you can actually, like I can lay in bed and I know what I've said. I know all my 5 goals that I have going. I know all of these, and I can just visualize it. And I've been trying to activate my senses to it. And this morning, instead of, like I told you, I can get attacked in the morning with all these things I have to do or whatever. And I visualized, what kind of mom am I? Who do I want to be? What kind of wife am I? I even visualize myself totally meeting my husband's needs. I'm not selfish. I don't think about what he needs to do for me. How can I bless him today? What are the things that I can do for him today? And what would make him put a smile on his face? Like I'm that woman who can make a smile, put a smile on my husband's face. And so just visualizing that helps me to do those things. So
that's awesome.
I thought, well, I'll share that with you. And that's an easy goal. And then you're not like, you don't have all this homework.
I love it.
And then I like to see how it helps you because, I was like, man, I'm tired of having all these things in my brain that I need to think I need to be doing and all this. And your to-do list can be this long. Well, if I really don't think I'm there yet, I just don't want to enjoy getting there. So I am visualizing who I am and who I'm becoming, and it's helping me to get there. It's really amazing how this works. I think our culture goes so opposite of it, and it always stresses people out. This, to me, brings peace and joy, and you get there in the process.
Yeah, because the to-do list never, ever ends. You never finish it.
Right.
So that's the stressful, guilty part.
Yeah, and you can bring this into your workouts, into this program. You can bring this into your you know, your homework, I should be doing my homework if I'm not, or whatever. You know, you can visualize yourself doing it and enjoying it, and then the feelings are going to come, you know, instead of dreading it. So that was my goal for you today, so it wouldn't be too hard, because I know you don't need a lot of extra steps.
No, that's awesome. That's really helpful. I like that. I was just thinking, like, that's so good to do for anything that you're kind of dreading.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I have this meeting for work and I don't really want to do it, but I'm visualizing how I want to be in the meeting, how I, you know, or whatever. Just like, it's something that you're dreading, or you don't want to vacuum the floor, but I'm imagining myself vacuuming the floor, and like, whatever, you know, the tasks and things, whatever.
Or what type of mom do I want to be? Do I want to be a mom with a filthy, dirty house? No, I want my home to be clean and cozy and welcoming, and, you know, those are the things that I always say, God, thank you that my home is a place of blessing, healing, ministry, love, welcoming. When people come in here, they feel your presence, and it feels like they get a big hug when they walk into my home. And I mean, these are the things that I want my home to be. And who am I to be in that? Well, first of all, I know I have to be the mom who spends time with the Lord and gets filled up with his presence, because I'm empty if I don't have that. So that is one of the visualizations that I had of a mom. And I mean, it can look like this perfect superhuman, you know, mom, superwoman, Wonder Woman. But I tell you what, if I don't visualize it, I can't become it. I know I can't, because I tried for years before to do that and it never worked. This is what brings me joy, and this is what helps me to reach my goals and do the things that I've been wanting to do. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now, are you going to be able to, will you be on the call tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So I always am like, is it 8:30, 8:45 my time, 9:45? I'm always.
I know, me too.
I need to put, like, I think that I put it in my calendar, and then I didn't put it in my calendar. I was running off of memory, I guess. So yeah, that's what I was looking at. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And I can always look back at, if you don't know for sure. So you're kind of confused on the time, are you?
No, I just always think about it. I'm like, wait, what time is it?
Okay.
No, but I do know.
Okay.
3:45 my time.
Okay. Are you 9 hours ahead of me?
7.
Oh, you're 7.
Yeah. 7.
Okay, 7. Okay. Because I know sometimes when we box, it's probably our times are kind of weird. That's what I was thinking. So, okay. Well, what else? Is there anything else I can help you with on here?
No, I don't think so. I'm starting week 5 tomorrow, so I'll watch the new breathing videos and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And if you have, like I said, if you have problems with that week's breathing, you know, then you go back to the last week's, and then you can even do the weeks before, and then start trying to add in one again of that one, and then on and on and on. Sound good?
Awesome.
Okay. You go to bed.
Yeah, I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
All right.
You're done. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Olivia.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.